Welcome to episode 39 of the Bulls REKAP Podcast. I'm Joe Colley of the Chicago Sun-Times. You could read me in the Sun-Times sports section. You can follow me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at jcolleyhoops. Not the most fun follow, especially this time of year. Bears fans, you know what I'm talking about. Huge day. This is NBA release regular season schedule day. So it basically tells me what my life looks like from October 22nd till April 12th. That is the length of the regular season, maybe beyond a couple days if the Bulls find their way back to play in heaven. But so we're kind of calling this kind of an emergency podcast, kind of just the weekly hit. Kind of just comb through it, what stood out for me, what didn't. Obviously, let's start with the big thing. We all knew it because the Christmas game days were announced. Bulls, once again, nobody gives a crap about them on Christmas. One of the great things about being mediocre, Christmas is off. So they will not be playing on Christmas. They will play the day after Christmas, hosting Philadelphia on that Friday, December 26th. The other big things that stood out right away, nationally televised games. Nobody wants them on Christmas, and nobody wants them on their TV nationally. They did up the ante from last season, so they have gone to 3 nationally televised games. The first one is going to be December 1st at Orlando. Here's the thing. You're going to put the Bulls on national TV 3 times, not 1 time in Chicago. What does that tell you? They aren't interested in the Bulls, and they don't want to come to Chicago in the cold. So the first one is obviously in Orlando, December 1st. That one is the Peacock one. So that would be Peacock's in the business now. Amazon Prime's in the business now. So get your streaming systems ready if you want to see the Bulls or the NBA. The second one is January 16th. That's going to be at Brooklyn. Again, not in Chicago. That one is the ESPN game, which could be a dual broadcast with the hometown station getting that one. And then the last one, February 5th. Keep that date in mind. This could be an interesting one. This one's going to be in Toronto, February 5th, on Amazon Prime. Who cares, you say? 2 mediocre teams battling it out in the Eastern Conference. February 5th, trade deadline day. So you may have a new-look Bulls roster, probably shorthanded if they do make some moves, debuting in Toronto. We'll at least have a look or a feel about that. So those are the 3 nationally televised games. Again, nobody wants to see the Bulls nationwide. So let's start off with the things that kind of, again, when you start combing through it, you're like, that's kind of interesting. First game, October 22nd, home game. They open up with Detroit. Welcome to the season. This opening schedule, the opening part of the schedule is pretty brutal. I mean, you start off October 22nd, you host Detroit. That's on a Wednesday. You get a couple practices in. Go down to Orlando on October 25th. Again, so now you're facing 2 up-and-coming playoff teams. 2 teams that are better than you, at least right now on paper. Okay. Go down to Orlando on that Saturday. Come back. Have an off day on Sunday. Host Atlanta, another team that made way more aggressive moves and better moves than you in the offseason. Don't love it. I don't love Atlanta. Don't love Trae Young. I think he's just He's just a mediocre guy on a team that's been very mediocre. But they made some changes. And interesting changes. So we'll see what that Hawks team looks like really early. That's the team that could be kind of neck and neck with the Bulls when you talk about are they making that jump to 4, 5, and 6, getting out of that play-in spot, or are they stuck in that play-in thing? October 29th, Sacramento comes to town. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. Can they fix that broken machine that should be doing better than it is? Okay. Halloween night, another home game. You know, you got 4 of your first 5 games at home, so you at least get that. Players get to sleep in their own beds. New York Knicks, first cup game, you know, the in-season cup begins on October 31st. fitting that it's Halloween night because the Knicks are, once again, their front office is disguised as competent. They are not. They are a clown show, evident by their decision-making with the coach. So you bam, 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 out of the gate. Okay, now we're going back on the road. This time you're going to New York on November 2nd. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of your first 6 games are against playoff teams or teams that are playoff competent. So right out of the gate, okay. All right, well, then you must get a little breather. You must get a cupcake coming back home after New York. Yeah, Philadelphia, that crappy product comes to town, but is it still crappy? I don't know. Are they healthy? Is Joel Embiid playing? I mean, they might be one of the better teams in the East. Fine. At Milwaukee, at Cleveland, back-to-back after that. Come home for San Antonio, and then go out on a bizarre schedule turn at Detroit, at Utah, at Denver, at Portland. So, and you're getting 7 road games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 road games out of 7 games. Your only breather is coming home to San Antonio and getting Wemby, and then you're back out on this weird cross-country thing where you go East Coast to Detroit, Mountain Time, Utah, Denver, and then finish out on the West Coast at Portland. Get your asses back into town on that Thursday or late Wednesday. You get a little breather, and then Miami comes to town for another cup game. So brutal. I think a brutal start to the season where they're going to be, again, measured quickly. Measured, weighed, and found wanted. Then Washington comes to town. You go to New Orleans, you Charlotte, you see Indiana for the first time. So you do get your little breathers. But, I mean, from October 22nd to November 19th, because I don't know what Portland's going to be, and the Bulls never play well out in Portland. They played better the last couple of years. But, Portland feels like they're going for it. They're a playoff team. I mean, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 game stretch where it could be welcome to the season. And how do you like those 6 wins? I mean, it's just sitting there. Season really kind of goes into a lull then. We'll go through the holidays. People won't care. It's Thanksgiving. It's not even Christmas. And, what they say about the NBA, people don't care about the NBA until Christmas time. So let's go right to around Christmas time. There's a little nasty, the week before Christmas, there's a little nasty Cleveland home, Cleveland away, and then at Atlanta. Bizarre little twist. I don't mind those home type series where it's the same team. It's got a little playoff feel to it. I don't mind it. Here's where you got to make your hay if you're Billy Donovan. Here's where you got to start saying, okay, we didn't get Christmas Day, but we're going to start doing some work after Christmas. Host Philadelphia, host Milwaukee, host Minnesota, host New Orleans, host Orlando, host Charlotte. So from December 26th to January 3rd, you got 6 straight home games. That's not bad. A couple of them, only one back or 2 of them are back-to-back. It's going to be grindy. And then you go out on the road, Boston, Detroit. Boston, who knows what they are? They're scaling back. No one's afraid of Boston anymore. At Detroit, then you come home, Miami, and Cooper Flag comes to town. So nice little, you got your lull from like I talked about late November to right before Christmas. And then you got to make some hay with those, Philadelphia, again, who knows who's healthy. Milwaukee, I think Milwaukee's going to be a problem this year. Minnesota is going to be a tough out. New Orleans, to me, dead team walking, dead organization walking. Orlando is going to be tough. Charlotte, I think it's going to be better because Concanipple's an adult, and I think they got an adult playing on that team now. And so I want to see how they turn around, but the Bulls should be able to handle that. So, and then, January 10th, Cooper Flag comes. That's going to be a big one. United Center doesn't need more hype. It's going to be sold out anyway. So, that takes me to the interesting parts of January. January, kind of go into the dead zone a little bit. February is when the NBA, again, gets interest because you're going to that deadline. It's kind of a little unique little swing here. So that deadline, the Bulls front office is going to have to work their magic while the team's on the road because January 28th at Indiana. So they go down the street to Indiana. Then they go to Miami, at Miami. Then they go a second game in Miami. So they're spending Friday night in Miami, playing that game. We'll go nuts Friday night. Saturday, guaranteed Billy gives them off. They'll be off, hungover. And then they play the Sunday game, which I think is a 4 or 5 o'clock game. It's an earlier game. Then they got to take their asses. They'll probably go back to Chicago because it's Milwaukee next. So it won't feel like a 5-city road trip necessarily because they'll break it up. That's what they usually do. They'll go back home after the Miami game on Sunday night, probably feeling like Dookie. They'll have a Monday practice, and then they'll drive their asses to Milwaukee. They'll have to fly out of Milwaukee, though, because they're going to Toronto, which is no quick, lovely little turnaround because you got to go through, the gates of hell to get through into Canada. And so, and February 5th is trade deadline day. So it's going to be an interesting road trip. It's broken up a little bit, but it's going to be interesting because if they are, in fact, like everyone feels they will be, still shopping assets at that point, they'll have that whole road trip where is Arturas with the team? Is Mark Eversley with the team? Are they back at the Advocate Center in the War Room trying to get something done? That's going to be an interesting little swing. After the deadline, they come home to Denver, and then they go back out, too, for a little East Coast swing at Brooklyn, at Boston. Then they get another long homestand. February 19th, Toronto, Detroit, New York, Charlotte, Portland, Milwaukee, OKC come to town. And if you're going to play that many home games, your ass is going right back on the road. The big West Coast swing, their biggest West Coast swing of the season. At Phoenix, at Sacramento, at Golden State, at LA Lakers, at LA Clippers. I'm glad that they are doing the LA thing in one road trip. The last couple of years, they were doing that for a little while. And then the last couple of years, they broke off Clippers and Lakers as two separate trips. Don't understand that. Don't understand why the NBA does that. This makes a lot more sense. You're living out on the West Coast. The boys are getting used to the time change. Everything's good. So you got that Phoenix, Sacramento, Golden State, Lakers, Clippers. You come home in mid-March, a little March Madness of your own, Memphis, Toronto, Cleveland, Houston. So I will say the back and forth, one game home, one game away. It looks like the NBA has tried to kind of say, if you're out on the road, your ass is out on the road. If you're home for a little bit. I like that. From a travel standpoint, the grind is the back and forth, even if it's close. So the fact when you got to pack that big suitcase or you're at home for 5-6 straight games, that means, 8-9 days at home. That's good. And I like the way they did that February and March where teams are kind of starting hitting that wall and, you're fighting for playoff position. So that takes us to March, their last long road trip at the end of March. Again, kind of wanky travel because they go to Philadelphia on the 25th. Then they go to OKC on the 27th. That's a back-to-back because then they got to go to Memphis. There's those schedule losses. These are schedule losses right here. To have to go at Philly, okay, on Wednesday. But then you got to go to OKC, no easy jaunt. And then back-to-back at Memphis. Then you get a little breather, and then you got to play Wemby at San Antonio on March 30th. That's rough. That's rough. So that'd be interesting to see where the boys are at because now you're in positioning time. And this is where Arturas loves to hang his hat and say, look how we finished. Look at that. Look how we sprinted the end of that marathon out. Even though a lot of those games were meaningless for some of these teams or teams were hurt. April Fool's Day, fitting. Indiana comes to Chicago. Why fitting? Well, Mark Eversley and Arturas both believe that the Bulls roster is so close to the Pacers, even though they don't have stars, even though they don't play the defense that the Pacers do or the Pacers did, especially the last 6 weeks of the regular season and obviously into the playoffs. So that'd be a nice little, no Halliburton. Halliburton won't be back, but we'll see what Indiana actually is. We'll see what kind of coach Carlisle is without his best player the upcoming season because of the blown tire that was the Achilles heel. Then another at New York. So that's 2 times in New York. Yeah, okay. So they're getting the whole New York thing. Then you get a little gift. If these games are meaningful at this time in April and there's positioning to be had, how about April 5th, the fifth to last game, hosting the Phoenix Suns? That could be dead team walking. April 7th, you go to the nation's capital and you get to play the Wizards. I think the Wizards are on the right path. They're not there yet. I don't even want to call them up and coming. They're a little more interesting. They might be a little tougher out, but they're still the Wizards. So April 7th at Wizards. Enjoy your time in DC because you'll be there a couple days. Because a day you get an off day there on Wednesday. I'll probably practice at Georgetown where they like to practice. And then April 9th, Wizards again. Come home for a home game. Not the greatest one, Orlando. But you know what? The Magic could be resting people. The Magic could already have the way the Magic have with Desmond Bane and adding Bane. I think Orlando is thinking to themselves, we're a top 4 team. We're hosting a first round play-in game, playoff game. So that might be hey, either starters go out there and play the first quarter, or hey, you guys sit down and enjoy Chicago. And then the finale, not ideal by any means. To have to get in a plane and fly down to Dallas on Sunday, and it's a night game. They didn't even say, hey, play an afternoon game and we'll get you home so you can sleep in your beds. As of right now, it's a 7:30 p.m. game down in Dallas. Those are rough. I mean, that's a 3.5 hour flight. Come back, see where you are. But they end the regular season with Dallas. Cooper Flagg will already have Rookie of the Year locked up. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a easier finish than a start, but the start, ay caramba. I mean, just sit back and enjoy those first 16, 17 games because you're going to figure out real quick what you are as a group, how tough you are. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not like segmented where it's home, away, get some practice time in. This is going to be a lot of road practices, looking for facilities. The only thing I'll say that's good, the early home games are nice. When you get on the road, NBA teams, especially early on, and there is a part, like I said, where there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 road games and 3 home games smattered in between those. You're talking about the ability for a team to bond. Again, this isn't a new roster. They didn't flip this thing. So it's not like, hey, we need to go do escape rooms to see if I like you. I think we're past that. Vooch knows Vooch and Kobe knows Vooch, and Kobe has a good feeling about himself and his game. So it isn't like they all need to go find themselves and go on some, trip out west where they're eating bark. So I like the fact that they do get these road games to bond, but the opponents are that's tough. I mean, I can't believe the NBA did them like that, where it's at Milwaukee, at Cleveland, come home for the Spurs, at Detroit, at Utah, at Denver, at Portland. To me, pivotal times of the season, right there is your pivotal time. You find out right there who your maker is. And it doesn't decide your season, but it definitely, if you come back and you've only got, you're through 16, 17 games and you got 5, 6 wins, hell, I mean, enjoy the uphill climb. The fan base could turn on this team quickly. They'll still sell it out, but the sheep won't clap as loudly. But then it kind of makes you rethink the whole build of this team. So nasty right out of the gate. So when I first saw it, that part of the schedule stood out the most. As far as other Bulls news, like I've said numerous times, we are in the dead zone. They want the NBA. The NBA purposely wants August to be, hey, let's just sit this one out. We got NFL camps. We got baseball heating up. So this is the month. I will say the Bulls are scheduled as a team like I reported and talked about on the podcast back earlier this summer, they all got together out in LA. They are scheduled to do that again. That's a huge, huge time for two guys. I think Modest Buchelis, again, gets to show that he's added the muscle and has the hustle. And Noah Essengate kind of gets to show that, yeah, I'm not the little baby deer, baby giraffe that I look to be far too often in the summer league games, especially in his debut. So big moments for those guys. I've heard a lot of guys have been in and out of Chicago working out. The interesting thing is Josh Giddey. Does he show up for the LA or for the second team gathering workout? That's going to be the big question. I mean, obviously we all know his contract status. He is signed. He is a Bull. Technically, he is their property because of the restricted free agency. They could match it, but he could quickly become not their property if a big offer comes in. There's no offers coming in. The rest of the NBA is seeing that. And I will say this. I touched on this last time. This may be the new norm. If you don't get that, if you're in that rookie contract and you're going into those last couple of years and you don't get that extension when Suggs and when that class got it, and that team is telling you we are taking you to restricted free agency, your ass is in a very difficult place, because I think, I'm not saying this is collusion. I just think this is the new norm of the apron. I think this is where the apron has taken these teams where, look, if you are that player that we've taken this far in the process where you can be a restricted free agent, we are telling you that your skills did not sell us on a overwhelming basis. You are not a must keep for us. You are a guy we want to keep, but not a must keep. So it's going to get interesting. This might be the new norm for the NBA, where if you get to this point in your contract, you are not in a good spot. Take your $12 million a year or $15 million a year and enjoy yourself. So this is where we might be. So that's it. We're kind of calling this kind of an emergency / schedule release podcast. I wanted to go over the schedule with the points that I like, don't like, talk about it as a kind of the strip it down skeleton wise and go through the bones of it. So until next week, I got next.